One, and we're live. Thanks for joining us. This is Live with Miami's Community News, and our guest today is AlJohn Farquharson. Did I get it right?
You got it.
Hey, I spelled it phonetically over here.
And you spelled it right, too. You guys
Tommy,
are two for
Tommy
two.
was correcting me every time I would go. Tommy, tell me again and again. So a couple months ago, you put your name into the hat to run for vice mayor. Right?
Yes,
Take us
I
on
sure
that
did.
journey from how you were not doing it, and then you moved towards, hey, I want to do it. Tell us about the conversations with your family and your friends before you said, okay, I'm going to jump in.
Well, the real conversation was with my wife. I had to convince her to let me do it. It's no small undertaking. I thought that I was just going to be throwing my name in a hat, to just be plucked out. But I realized after that it's a race. And yeah, we had several conversations about it, me pushing because I'm the kind of person that wants to somehow leave the world better than I got it. So yeah, after those several conversations, she inched closer to the edge, and I was eventually able to say, babe, I'm gonna run. It was
So let's talk. So you said you're going to run, then you had to fill out the paperwork.
yeah.
What was that like as you were one finger at a time typing?
Yeah, wife had to do that too.
There you go, guys.
I'm not really the computer guy, to tell you the truth. I got that from my dad. What do we got going on
Okay,
there?
let's see. Let's see. Ed Silva is watching. Scott Miller is my brother, by the way. That's the first time I
Oh.
said that. All right.
Nice.
Yep. And so anyway, farmers market, great. Everybody was happy. Okay, so there you go. Your wife's filling out the form, and are you standing over her shoulder?
No, I was off doing something else. I'm always busy doing something, but right in the room, and we were nervous the whole time, but it was something that I just felt so compelled to do that it was like I helped her to be more relaxed about it, and she was behind me the whole way. So it was a nice experience.
So and there's that old saying, behind every successful man is that woman. Actually, the woman's up front. All right.
That's her.
All right.
That's her.
It's like the lead dog making making it open so that should you decide that it's open. All right. So you filled out the paperwork. All right.
Paid
And
the fee.
What?
Paid the fee.
Paid the fee. All right.
Most important part.
Yeah. And how much was that?
$220, I
right.
think.
So then you go, okay, I've done it. Now what do you go through?
Oh, well, I'm pretty sure like 5 minutes after I announced it, my criminal record came out, which is like 20 years old. But hey, I have a history. It made me who I am, and that was pretty tough. But I thought to myself, there's not really much else to say. So if it comes out right away, that's the best way to deal with it. Next morning, I felt a little down, but it was it was a stealing process. It made me feel more resolve, actually. And it was weird. I kind of enjoyed it, putting myself out there and getting the public reaction.
So is this the first time that publicly that your history from years ago came forth in a public way?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people who know me know my history, but it was strange. I had a conversation with the Miami Herald person who was interviewing me, and she asked me all sorts of questions about my life, and then she asked me about my dad, my criminal history. And at the end of the interview, I said, oh, please, can you do me a favor? And if you're going to tell the whole story, tell the whole story. And I feel like I had one of those moments the next day where I woke up and I'm drinking my coffee and I read the paper and I'm like, she wrote everything bad. But it's just part of the process. People need to know everything about you, and they want to start with the bad stuff first.
So there you are. You say, maybe in the back of your head, see, I don't want that to happen, but you made a decision. I'm going to go do that, and it might come up. And so there it was, not hidden anymore. All right, and great.
Well, there's no going back. Once you get there, there's no going back. To turn back at that point is like, you got to push forward. So I feel like once I pushed forward, people forgot about that very quickly. And plus, I had a lot of ideas that I threw out there. It gave people enough to criticize me about.
So one of the things we recognize about people, humans, and the way we are, we're very forgiving, right? So you do things, listen, I shouldn't have done it. I'm sorry, I made a mistake, all right? because when you look at all the people and all the jobs they have and all the political positions, all right, rare is it that somebody's like has this perfect life, all right? And there are things that happen, all right? And I'm really glad that you made a decision to get on the other side of that. So you never have to be worried about that again, because they all know, and quite frankly, almost no one cares.
Right.
And then the other part
feel
is,
that way.
and what if they do care? All right, so
Well,
this is it.
The thing of it is a person's past is what makes them who they are at the present. So, like, who knows? If I didn't go through those things, maybe I wouldn't be who I am now.
Yes.
So I just have to embrace it and own up to it. And yeah, it's all out there. Feels good.
Okay, so I'm going to skip over, if we can do this. Tommy, can we get on the video that AlJohn made in September? Can we get to that?
I'm not sure that
We're going to try to do that.
Facebook video, so it's hard to.
So we're going to try to do it. In the meanwhile, well, let's talk about it. So you're a musician.
Well, my mom made me play piano growing up,
All right.
which I hated at the time. I was a soccer player. But looking back on it, I'm so thankful, because it's just a nice thing to know. It's kind of like speaking another language.
Right. And you're also an artist.
I didn't really realize that until a couple years ago. I had to make my wife a last-minute Mother's Day gift, and I did.
Tommy and I go to the store and buy one.
Yeah, I didn't have a car. I was watching the 3 kids. I had no car seat because my wife had the car, so I had to come up with something last minute. It
And
worked out.
What did you make for her then?
I made her a little planter. You know those little wooden ones
Yes.
that hold the orchid in
Yeah,
Home
yeah.
Depot? I just made a similar design out of copper. So
And speaking of copper, in the video it shows a lot of the copper things that you've made. So why don't you tell us about some of those things? Hopefully we're going to be able to get it up. If we can't, what's that, the Facebook, Tommy?
I'll put the link to it.
Oh, good, okay.
Well, my copper art is pretty random. It's called Random Arts of Kindness. I started doing it because I really wanted to make the world a kinder place. Sounds a little corny, but I figured if I could make something nice, give it away, brighten someone's day, that would make me happy. So I started with simple things like the planter, and then I, got a little idea here or there, and it turned into a guitar.
So let's see, you made a guitar.
I have a violin.
What did you make it out of?
Okay, so I'm at a plumbing supply yard one day, and I see these awesome pallets. They have like really heavy stuff on them. They're not like normal pallets. So I asked for the wood. Can I have it? So I made the necks for the guitar and the violin out of that pallet wood. It's white oak. And you can even see the nails in it still. I left the nail. It's so smooth. It's really, really nice. And then the body for both of them is copper.
So you take copper. What is that when you start working on creating something out of copper? How does it look when you first start this piece of copper?
Well, I go to the scrapyard. I'm an air conditioning guy. So I've been doing that my whole life, recycling copper. At this same recycling yard, there's roofing copper, which is sheets. There's more plumbing copper, which is just round tubes. There's all sorts of different industries that have their own types. So I get random things, come home, and it goes from there.
What tools do you use to create out of these sheets?
These 2 things right here.
I mean, do you have like a
These are
hammer?
my tools.
Do you have a hammer? How do you do that?
I have just my air conditioning tools, really. My snips, my torches, some hammers. Got to hammer things down while I weld them.
So you made a copper.
My father-in-law.
Thanks, Dad.
Very, very important tool there. He's the best.
So you made a guitar out of copper that you got from a junkyard.
Yeah,
All right. And does it play?
it's beautiful.
And
It's
Tommy
soft.
and I listened to this a little while ago. It was miraculous. All right.
I strung it, and I was like a giddy little boy stringing it because I was like, is it going to work? Is it going to work? And then, every string that I tightened, it made sound. But then I wasn't sure if my mathematics was accurate to go all the way up the neck with the frets. So then I play chords, and they work. And like every chord I play, I'm like just crossing my fingers. Is it going to break? Is it going to just snap in half?
Well, the neck was made out of old wood.
Right, but I screwed it together and glued it. I screwed it and glued it. And I don't know, it's wonderful.
So obviously you love doing that. What are some of the other things that you made?
I have a fish ball that's beautiful. It's like 3 feet around. I was watching the Discovery Channel one time. You ever seen those bait balls that circle around?
Yes, yeah, sure.
And then there's sailfish that come in and eat them. So I made a bait ball and some sailfish.
I think I saw the sailfish on that video.
I made a bench. I made an alligator that's going to hopefully Pinecrest Gardens soon. They apparently approved of it being there, but I haven't heard from them, so we'll see how that goes.
And how long have you been creating things?
Oh man, probably like 2.5, 3 years.
You must have had that talent before.
I can't draw you a stick figure is what I can draw. I'm a terrible artist.
Folks,
so
I got to tell you, you got to see this art, all right? And here's a guy that stuck his head out there that was concerned about because he had some past history, you know, and he's out there, but very, very creative, all right? We believe that everybody has a story, that's something that moved them from where they were to where they are and where they're going to be. So let's talk about some people of influence in your life. So who are those? Some of those people?
Man, you know, my dad was my huge influence. He taught me like everything I know. Like the piano, he taught me air conditioning. I didn't really want to do air conditioning at the time. It was like the family business. I wanted to go be a soccer player. But he told me that it was a good thing to know if, you know, if stuff hit the fan. So I learned it, and I learned hard work and honesty from the guy, which is ironic because he got deported and he's kind of a criminal. But to me, he's taught me everything I know, and I admire the guy.
So there are lots of folks, as they're growing up, they don't have a mother, they don't have a father, all right? When you grew up, was there a mother and a father?
Yeah, my mom and dad they're the best. And we had a great childhood. We had a great time.
That's so important, and again, a huge percentage of families only have one side of that. So you're fortunate that you were able to have that and be influenced like that.
It is very important, huh? Families, and that's like what Palmetto Bay is made up of. A lot of families.
Okay, so let's talk about your journey. So there you are. You sign up. You pay the $220, and you say to yourself, "Okay, now what?"
Yeah, I did. Because originally I was just going to throw my name in the hat and just, you know, sometimes voters don't know who to vote for and they just pick a name.
Sure.
That happens.
Every day?
Right. So I just figured, hey, if my name's on the list, I got a shot. And then I realized that, oh man, I don't ever really do anything like that. Just I have to kind of go 100% or nothing. So I started throwing my ideas out there, and I just wanted to see people's reaction. And it was like the only way I could. You ever seen Rocky IV?
I do.
Yeah, right? Where he starts
that
fighting.
Summer when it came out, significant for me, boy, I'll tell you that.
Well, you know when Rocky's fighting Drago in the beginning, and the whole crowd is against Rocky, and he has this moment halfway through the fight where he starts to make some headway with that crowd, and then at the end they're cheering for him. Well, I wouldn't say anybody was cheering for me, but I kind of got to that halfway point, I feel like.
So when you came here, I think, if I remember right, Tommy, correct me if I'm wrong, I think what you said, I'm not sure what I'm going to be able to do.
Right.
Right? But you did do something. You took it upon yourself. Why don't you tell everybody what you did?
Well, for me, I don't have a lot of money to throw at this campaign. I had no money. I printed up 60 signs. I got like 30 shirts. So for me, my best strategy was to try and actually do something. And traffic, to me, is the biggest issue. So I began to call and send emails to the traffic people at the engineers.
For the county?
Yes, for the county, because Palmetto Bay doesn't really handle
Right.
that. The county does. It took quite a while to get through to somebody. And after getting through, it took quite a while to even like establish that, hey, this is a valid request. And the gentleman looked at it, particularly 82nd Avenue at 144th and 152. Those lights, in my opinion, during rush hour were way too short on the north and south bound lanes. So the gentleman just made a simple extension of the time that would be able to go there.
So he's an experienced person, took a look at it, right?
Yes.
With whatever evidence that he had there. They're professionals, they know that, they looked at it over and over. And so a concerned citizen yourself called him, hey man, can you look at this? And what did he do?
He did it. He looked at it. He said, okay, give me some time. I'll look at it. Actually, when he first made the adjustments on 144 and 152, we were on the phone. And he was like, oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. The time, because if they don't hit the plate in a certain amount of time, that extra time that they lost will get added to the main street.
That's a plate on the street.
Right. So anyhow, he knew exactly what that was gibberish to me. I figured it out later on what he meant. But yes, a trained professional did his job. I was just there to say, hey, look, this could work a little better.
I wanted to say, a couple of people have said hello. Let's see. We've got Ed Silva's here, Pam Gorman, Lourdes Castillo, Miriam Budensky, got it wrong, Yanni, God boy, I'll tell you what. If it's not John Smith, I'm finished. All right. Melina Zervas, Lisa Myers, hey there. Julie says hello. Edward Martinez and Deb's watching. Alice Pasquale is listening. Sorry that I screwed that one up. And let's see what else.
You know, I've met a lot of people on these Facebook chats.
Hey, there's your wife or daughter or somebody.
Oh, yes. Why? No, not my daughter. She's not old enough for that.
Oh.
She's 3.
Proud of you, man.
Yeah.
That's what you, all right. All right. And Julie says it's correct. Relationship with the county are crucial as for everybody, all right, to be able to move forward. So let's go on.
With what now? The traffic?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I also had people reaching out to me then after to say, hey, can you get this taken a look at? Can you get this? And it felt really good to be somebody that people would call. I like that kind of stuff. Fortunately for me and my business, my father-in-law drives the car. So that leaves me with plenty of time to send emails. And, you know, he's always giving me a hard time that I'm on the phone. He thinks I'm just looking on Facebook, but I'm actually, like, doing stuff. So I got a couple of things done, and I felt very happy about that.
Okay, so you got some stuff done. That was at the beginning of your campaign.
Yes.
So what was it like, you know, a week or 2 or 3 weeks after that? What were you going through, and what was the feelings that you were getting?
Well, part of the reason I did this in the first place, I didn't necessarily think I was going to win. I thought that I was, like I said, throwing my name in the hat. But part of what I really wanted to do was get the word out that other people can do this too. So I started getting like messages from people that were like giving me a thumbs up and a pat on the back and saying, hey, you've kind of given me the idea that I can do this too. I complain about stuff and I want to change it, and I have the heart to change it, so I'm going to run next time too. So I started getting those kind of messages from the side, and it was really nice, because a lot of the times public figures can deal with a lot of scrutiny. Pats on the back are really nice.
So here you are, you're getting people, you worked at trying to help the city and the village with their traffic issue, and at some point right around then you started feeling pretty self-actualized.
Well, you know, it's a weird thing. Diamonds are made through fire and pressure. Like putting yourself through something and coming out the other side of it, you feel this sense of achievement, and it gives you a little more self-worth. I have dealt with it many a times in my business, but to feel it on this level, it was
so
nice.
when you step up and you step out, that's when the growth happens. And it's sort of hard to get out of that bubble, and you know,
Well,
okay.
they're not called growing pains for no reason.
Oh, good point.
You know, like it hurts, but it's supposed to. And it, like when you work out and you're gonna look nicer later, it hurts, but it's good for you. And I didn't really realize that was how I was gonna feel about it, but it was a pleasant reaction.
So now you signed up, if you will. When was that, more or less? What month was that?
Oh man, the past few months, at the very end,
So
the
that
last day.
just like 3
Like
months
3
ago.
months ago.
All right.
Yeah.
So here you are. All right. You came in here about 2.5 months ago. Is that right here? And we had a nice conversation. And so tell us how you look at the process differently today than you did 2.5 months ago.
Oh, I don't know. I can't really say how I look at it differently. I'm going to do it again. And I'm going to do it differently next time, because I'm going to sign up earlier and I'm going to get stuff going earlier. But I'd have to say that the process was not it's pretty self-explanatory. Once you just put yourself out there, you kind of get led down the road.
Isn't
And
that
it takes you
interesting?
there.
Because you have these other people that are willing to participate with you and to follow, and so all of a sudden you're the guy. I did want to share with you about 20 years ago we sued Knight Ridder. At that point they owned the Miami Herald,
Right.
and we were actually trying to keep them from buying the Miami News, and we had our court hearing, and as we're I'm 32 years old. And so we're walking out of the federal courtroom. I have my father on this side, my brother Grant on this side. As we're walking down there, all these cameras, right?
Cool.
Right? And then as we get close to the cameras, I look to my right, my dad's gone. I look to the left, Grant's gone. And it was just me. Whoa! Right? Well, what a moment. So here I am, a couple decades later, reflecting on that, what that was like, right? There is a group, then all of a sudden, no, you became yourself right then to be able to review that. And as I look to you, the difference in your confidence level about being public is totally different.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah,
I feel like I grew.
You did.
I feel like I grew, and a lot of people have said to me that, oh, please run again. You'll have more support. And I feel like, yeah, I will definitely run again. This wasn't just a one-hit wonder. I want to make a difference.
So in 2 years, there's the people the one person just got in, that's a 4-year term. There's another one that comes up December 1st, that's a 4-year term.
Right.
But in 2 years from now,
There's two openings again, or three openings?
I think three.
Yeah, I think
there are
three
three openings. And the district, do you have to run in the particular district, or?
I would have to run in the district that I live in.
Okay.
Like anybody. So District 3 would be up, which I think I'm a shoo-in for District 3. Or do I want to go for being mayor? Nah, I don't know. It's too early to say mayor now, but
Who's on the council, man? If you're a lone wolf and you got 5,
we'll see.
All right.
We'll see. I got to ask my wife permission too,
And one of the great things when you hold yourself out in the public's eye is that you gain confidence and you become a better person for yourself and your family and for the community. A year ago, would you have called the county and said, hey, listen, this traffic light over here is a little mixed up? Would you look at it?
I wouldn't have. It took that I had people I felt like depending on me to prove what I could do to do that. Not that I didn't have the confidence to do it, but I probably wouldn't have had the oomph to just push and do it.
Sometimes people think they need permission.
Yeah.
All right.
I got a lot of that.
All right.
I got people saying to me, "Oh, what gives you that right?" I was like, "Nobody. You could do it too." I didn't do anything. I just called and said, "Hey, there's a little problem here. Can we fix it?"
So, and these are these cultural rules that somehow people fall into, and these traps that, oh, I can't do it. It has to be that person over there or that. No. And you want to teach your kids, you don't need to get permission to go do that stuff. And there's an old saying, and we've been used to it for many, many years, all right? It's easier to get forgiveness than permission. And if you had to get permission for everything you do, you wouldn't
be able to do anything.
Yes. And
well, one of the things that made me happy about inspiring people was I felt like, okay, maybe I'm not the guy who does the change. Maybe I don't get to be that guy. There's so many people along the road of life. Success is built on someone else's failure, So that's one of the things I feel like I'm happy to be maybe that guy who failed, but somebody else gets to succeed. So yeah, asking for permission, I don't think you need to ask for permission to do everything. I think you should just go, if your heart's in the right place. That's a very key issue. Your heart has to be in the right place.
And there's something about when you take that step out, all right? And if the crowd is here, and we've learned this in photography, if you're in a crowd, all you have to do is step 1 foot out, so it winds up, instead of being like this, it winds up being like this.
Right? I am a terrible photographer.
All right, but all you have to do is step out that one little bit, and don't
it
be on
makes all the difference.
Because people, we will naturally focus on that. That's just the way that it's done. And when you do that, there will be people that will open those doors for you. And actually, the doors are open It's our doors that get in the way. Let's see what Julie says, some of us are introverts, but eventually we all get tired of it. All right. Julie says seats 1 and 3, and I think the mayor's seat maybe is open.
It
all
is.
Right. And Lisa says, keep up the hard work. Don't let them distract you. So as you contemplate this next, in 2 years, there's another seat. When do you think you will start being public about your position that you're going to be running?
My plan is to just keep trying to help Palmetto Bay. Do little things that I can do to help Palmetto Bay. I'm going to go back to doing my art that I donate a lot of. Going on my RV trip this weekend, going to see my sister, got to relax a little bit. So for the next 2 years, I plan on just being myself and just keeping my presence known, going to meetings, being vocal.
And part of that whole thing is you saying you just try to help.
Right.
All right.
Right.
And Grant and I come from a place of community service, and I was very active in horse country where we protect our agricultural property, and nothing feels better than you do it because it's the right thing to do.
It's so lost in our society today that people just don't do what's right. They do what they want and what feels good. That's not the right way, in my opinion.
There was somebody that said to me, I hope you're listening, he said to me, Michael, you guys are on the right side of the right thing. And I've got to tell you, I still get goosebumps. So I hope that you're on the right side of the right thing and help your community, because people will see that and they will open those doors, will be wide open, all right? I wish you lots of good luck.
Thank you.
Congratulations on coming back, all right?
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And for being who you are.
Thank you.
Again,
Appreciate
our guest
it.
today is AlJohn Farquharson. I got it right again. And want to thank everybody for joining us. Tommy, thank you for
Put that link up to the video. You guys will love that video. And I got a Christmas song coming out real soon.
Okay.
I made it like 3-4 years ago, but after Thanksgiving, I always release it. I think everybody will like it. My kids sing it all the time. Poppy, put on your song.
Hey, let me ask you, can we play the music?
Let me see. Let me try.
By the way, Tommy has a microphone over there. Pretty soon he's going to have a
I got a show today.
Oh, you got a show today. Big sports guy. He's good on that. By the way, we're opening another studio right on the other side of where Tommy is, right over there. And let's see what we got going on here.
1 second.
That song came out so good. I got to give credit to my neighbor Dan. He recorded it with me. Did the piano. Great musician.
Let me get it on this speaker here. 1 second.
Is that you singing? Can they hear it?
1 second. Hold tight.
Hold on, guys. Don't go anywhere.
It's worth it.
All right.
100% worth.
Hey, Claudia's, hello, Claudia, Berlin. Hello to you. Thanks for checking in. And in a moment, we're going to have the debut of AlJohn Farquharson right here on Live with Miami's Community News. Tommy's going to have it in just a second.
Hopefully I don't get copyright issues because I didn't write this song. It's just a mashup of 3 songs, but it's lovely.
All right. And you're playing the guitar. Which guitar is that?
That's my copper guitar.
Copper guitar here, man.
It has a pickup and everything. It's phenomenal.
You want to sing it here too? Come on.
Each time we have a quarrel, it nearly breaks my heart because I'm so afraid that we will have to part. Each night I ask the stars above, why must I be a teenager in love? One day I feel so happy, next day I feel so sad. I guess I learned to take the good with the bad. Each night I ask the stars above, why must I be a teenager in love? Ooh, ooh, July, ooh, how I love you so. This was for my wife, this part.
Okay. A little louder if you can, Tommy. Whoops. Oh,
Because I love you, my darling angel,
and we're going to wrap it up here. AlJohn, congratulations. Thanks very much for doing
Thank you
this.
for
Tommy,
having me.
thank you. And thanks for joining us live with Miami Community News. Have a great day, folks.